Hello there, morons. It is Victor, the king of the morons, here with my new Maggie pajamas. Check it out, Maggie pajamas. If you think that's cute, well, wait till you check out the rest. Check this out. I don't know if you can see this. Ready? See? Can you see this? Look at that. Yes. I'm wearing a full... I don't know what these are called. I think only like 7-year-olds are supposed to wear these, but... they are a joke present from my wife. She bought them at Target. They're actually women's pajamas. But because they have my dog, or a similar icon to my dog on the chest, she bought them for me. They're actually a little bit too small. But they don't ride up your butt like other women underwear. Why would I know that? Anyway, this is a laundry video. What does that mean if you are a newcomer to this channel? First of all, if you're a newcomer, I'm the king of morons. I'm an idiot. I'm forever learning and forever getting a little bit smarter, but forever an idiot. I'm okay with that. No, I'm not actually. An idiot's a little bit lower. I'm a moron. Just one step above an idiot. I apologize. I slipped there because I'm a moron. And this is a laundry video, which means I will now talk for an inordinate amount of time. I can't remember the word. Okay, a time that I should. I'm going to talk longer than I should, and you don't have to watch the video. Just fold your laundry, clean your room, paint the walls, cut your toenails, whatever you want to do. You don't really have to watch the video, but I'm going to babble for a long time. Today's video is we're going to be catching up with some mail from Facebook, which I have been remiss in my duties. I've been remiss. I haven't answered, and of course, as always, not as always, but as often, I shall be partaking in a little Knob Creek. I have a shot of Stewie shot glass here today, and let's get started. The doctor. Let me get ready. Yes, the doctor is in. Okay. This is an unedited video, by the way, which is the only thing I put up on Gimmeaflakeman anymore. If you don't know, I've moved all my edited stuff to Gimmeabreakman. So if you're still interested in that stuff, please go check out Gimmeabreakman, Gimmea Breakman. It's my original channel. This was originally, Gimmeaflakeman was originally just a response channel, just a joke channel. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get to the first question, which comes from Abdul, who says, hi, he says, hi, Victor. I came across this documentary on YouTube about Japanese parents abducting their children. They were spelled incorrectly. I'm a grammar Nazi. I don't know if you've seen it or already made a blog about it. I would appreciate it to get your ideas about this. I haven't seen it, and there's an international treaty. I want to say the Prague Treaty or something, but I forget. But the Japanese are, until recently, they were one of the few countries to few first world countries, industrialized countries, to not have signed that treaty. But they recently signed it. I don't know if it's actually the fact that they've signed it means it's gone into effect or anything. But here's the skinny on that. In Japan, if you get married to a Japanese woman and you get divorced, which if you're American, you will inevitably do, because Americans get divorced like 50% of the time, right? Though I'm still married. How did I pull that? What is the secret to success in the marriage world? Victor, we'll have to wait for another video for that. Yeah, if you get divorced and you had kids, in Japan, basically the woman gets the kids. She has a right to the kids. Okay, and there have been some cases of men. It's usually Japanese men. I mean, I'm sorry, American men, or the Western men. It doesn't have to be American. Western men who they will come to Japan and take their kids back to America, or vice versa. The Japanese woman, I guess, yeah, either way, the Japanese woman will go to America and take her kids back to Japan and prevent the husband from seeing the kids. That's basically the case. Okay, and of course, it is considered illegal depending on what country you're in, which is screwed up, right? So if you're a man and if you're a Western man, you go to Japan and steal your own kids back to America. It's okay if you're in America, but by Japanese laws, you are a criminal, and vice versa. What do I think about this? I have no kids. I'm not really personally involved. I think that it's sad that adults can't, work this shit out, and in the end, the kids suffer. It's amazing that we have to make international laws, you know, to it's like really like the UN has to get involved in your marriage because you guys can't handle your marriage. If I ever have kids and my wife and I ever get divorced, I hope we will handle this for the kids' sake much better. So I really can't see. I haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the documentary, and I am actually working on a series of videos introducing the documentary. So I will add this to the list. But I can't see that. I'm sure the video is like self-righteous, like, oh, this is the way it should be. It shows people like bitching about, you know, what they think is right. But it's a shame that the adults couldn't you know, they couldn't get over themselves to create a situation in which the kids could thrive, you know. So you got to do what's best for the children. If adults really need international guidelines and laws to you know to do it for them, then what does that say about society? So that's the first question. Though I will, like I said, I will watch that and get back to you about that later. Okay, that's the first question. The second question comes from someone named Jessica. I'm just going through these, you know, because I say, hey man, I just came to say good luck with your Spanish training, and I just want to motivate you to show you how easy it is. I already speak Spanish, so I don't know why he's sending this to me. He thinks I did a video called 7 Question Challenge. And I just wrote back, thanks. You know, so here's what happened. So sometimes people send me emails educating me or teaching me something that I already know. And instead of going to the trouble saying, actually, I already know that, or I think you misunderstood, I just say thank you. You know, what's the point of explaining it to them? Anyway. So, again, they're sending me a video. It's called Efectos Vocales. I assume it's a pronunciation practice video. So Jason, I'm sorry, it's called not Jessica, Jason. Jason, thank you. But I'm not going to watch a video on Spanish pronunciation porque yo creo que mi pronunciación es suficiente bueno. And that sucked now because I'm switching between languages. My Japanese pronunciation and my Western pronunciation and my Spanish pronunciation are all actually pretty damn good if you don't mind me trumpeting my own horn, blowing my own horn, blowing myself. I don't remember how that goes. Blowing my own trumpet, you know what I'm saying. However, when you're switching between languages quickly, often there's some residual accent from the previous language going into the next language, which makes the present language, the language that you're speaking in, seem a little strange. Okay. Next question comes from Ethan, who says, I thought you might enjoy this. Yes, someone who's from God's perspective. He's sending me a video. Okay, so let's skip that. Sorry. These are not very interesting today, huh? Okay, Dan White, that says, I'm wondering what happened because, let me see. Okay, here we go. Here's an interesting question. This is a funny question. And I hope Dan doesn't mind me asking you guys this question, but Dan writes me a funny question. He says, just listen. Hey, Victor, I just thought of what if an American who did not know a single Japanese word was trying to have sex with a Japanese woman and who did not know any English, and he thought that she had been saying yeah over and over again, but in reality she was saying no in Japanese. Would that be considered accidentally rape? What is your thought on this? And a misspelling word, I can't even, and made me think of this. Something ADHD made me think of this. Maybe that's a condition. What is ADHD? Somebody educate me. I think I know. It's like that thing where you can't pay attention. I don't know. Anyway, I think I probably have it. Then the next email is, sorry if this creeps you out. First of all, I don't believe that there is such a thing as accidental rape. Unless you're naked and you fall on someone who's naked and you happen to have an erection, or you're the female and he happens to have an erection and you fall and you accidentally fall on each other, then that's the only possible scenario where you could have accidental rape. Really, accidental rape? I mean, that's crazy. Accidental rape. I should title this accidental rape. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry about that. I just blew out your eardrums, right? Okay. Let me explain. In Japanese, the word for no is ie. Ie. Okay. That's what he's thinking. But actually, if someone is raping you and you want them to stop, you would say yamete, or dame, or aho, or bakayero, or a billion other things. You probably wouldn't say yeah. That no is a negative to a question. So, and I'm sure if someone is raping someone, the person who is being raped would show in other ways, probably physical ways, that they did not want to be violated. So I don't think this is such a problem. So it's a funny question. I'm sure it's an innocent question. I hope. The other problem with this question is, if you don't speak any Japanese at all, and a Japanese woman doesn't speak any English at all, I would recommend you wait on the sexual contact until you get past the zero language barrier. I think that's one barrier that you want to put a couple cracks in that wall before you proceed with that relationship. That would be my professional opinion as a medical professional. Okay, not really a medical professional. Okay, let's go to the next question. Oh my God! Oh, hold on. Let's see. Here's another question. I'm wondering what happened because I watched the live stream you did. What happened to Gimmeaflakeman? You did not want to. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, he's asking something about a live stream. Who knows? Let's go back to another question. Okay. Here's another question. Oh no, here's the question. Where is the question? New question from Kevin. Kevin says, no, there's no question there. I can't access the question. Why doesn't it? Maybe his account. Oh, here we go. Hello, I'm Kevin, and I have a few questions about Japan. Well, I'm so interested to live my entire life in Japan and work in Japan. So let's start with the question. And let me just mention to you that what I just read to you has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spelling mistakes, including his own name. So he can't even spell his name correctly, which I think is just, it's just disrespectful. If you can't even bother, I know you know how to spell your own name. If you cannot bother to spell your own name correctly in a message to me, seriously, what the hell's wrong with you? Really, you couldn't take 2 minutes? I bet you this guy's page is full of selfies. I mean, you can take all these selfies, but you can't spell your own name correctly. Okay, number 1, the first day in Japan, where I need to go first, probably the bathroom. I would think that's probably one of the first things I went, and somewhere to eat. Where do you go first in the first day in Japan? Go to your home or your hotel. I don't know. What does that mean? Go to your hotel, find some food, find a toilet, get a shower. I would say that's all you need to do on the first day. If you can get that much done, if you can get a place to live on your first day, you've accomplished quite a bit. All right. Of course, hopefully you've checked into a hotel. And then I'm looking for a bottle of water here. No, I have no water here. No water here. Okay, so well, forget it. If you can't get after you get a hotel, I would say if you're going to be in Japan a while, start shopping for a more economical place to stay. So start looking for something like that. And that's about it. Number 2, to work like an English teacher in Japan, you need to be American. No, but you need to learn how to spell. Not actually, there's no law, but morally, if you cannot spell, I'm against your success completely. You can be Canadian. Okay, actually, let me cut it down. Ideally, you should be American, British, Canadian, Australian, New Zealand, South African, and then maybe from the Bahamas or something, in that order, I would say. Yeah, so the most sought after teachers are probably Americans and Canadians and British. Though, of course, it depends on the school. Okay. So do you need to be American? No. But if you are not any of those and you are a near native level, it is still possible to work here, but it is almost impossible to get a visa here unless your country happens to have a working visa relationship. Is that it? Holiday visa relationship with Japan. And for that, you have to Google. Though, however, if you go to gimmeabreakman.com and look at 4 or 5 posts back, I've got a Q&A of all these questions and links to places that tell you which countries have a reciprocal working holiday relationship with Japan. Okay, so you don't need to be American. Now, if you have even if you don't have, how do I explain? I want to explain the loopholes real quick. Okay, let's say you're American, but you don't have a degree, but you have a Japanese wife and a visa, or you have a visa of some sort. Then it's still possible to get a job here. I know a guy here in Nagoya actually, who never finished college, but he's married to a Japanese person. He has a spousal visa. And he actually got a pretty good job. He gets $3,000 a month working at a school. And I think it's a pretty cushy job. Like he only works like 8 to 3 or something. And that's it every day, right? Or on Monday to Friday. So it's a pretty good job. 300,000 yen a month. Not bad. And he doesn't have a degree, but it's because he has the visa. So the schools don't mind. And I'm sure he's also presentable. He probably cut a good. He probably did well in the interview. Okay, that's one case. If you are a foreigner of a non-English speaking country, as in you're not from Canada, America, England, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, but you speak English well enough, and you have a visa already, for some other reason, like a spousal visa, then it's still possible to get a job, but it's much harder. And you can expect to be paid less if your goal is to teach English. Okay. Last question Kevin asked is, what do you need to go to university to learn Japanese? You don't need to go to a university to learn Japanese. You don't need to go anywhere to learn Japanese. You just have to study to learn Japanese. There are language schools here, and there are universities that offer language courses, but how would I know what you need? It depends on the university. I'm thinking the most important thing is money. If you have the money, you can probably find a university that will take you as either an undergrad or, probably an undergrad, or I suppose if you already have a degree somewhere, you could do it too. But why would you do that? It would be cheaper to just go to a language school, and there are many. One in Nagoya here is a YWCA, Nagoya YWCA. Those are the only questions I have on my previous Give Me a Break Man channel, Facebook channel. Now I have an old Give Me a Break Man Facebook that I almost never visit. That is a whole bunch of questions too. So let's go look at some of those. Let's see. I'm gonna skip. Oh my God! I'm just looking at a mail that came in November 28th. So I don't read these. As I told that person, this is actually someone who I told that I don't check this old channel anymore. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, this is weird. Some guy calls me and says, "Hey, here's my phone number. Here's my Skype, call me up." And I'm like, how do we know each other? And he says, via YouTube. That's a bit general. If you know me, you should give me more information about yourself. Here's another person who just writes, hi. Her name is Patricia. Hello, Patricia. No question. That's good. Okay. Let's see. Another guy wants to know if it's worth becoming an English teacher in Japan. They pay about 200,000 yen per month is what he thinks. Oh yeah, okay. So how much do people pay in Japan? On the low end, on the very low end, 170,000, which is about $1,700 dollars a month. That's on the low end. If you get lucky or kick some ass, you can get up to 500,000 a month. Okay. Or you can take a low-end job that doesn't take much of your time, and you can just look for a lot of privates, and you can boost up your salary that way. I knew a girl years ago who came here for the sole intention of saving up enough money to buy a house. She took a job that just got her the visa, but didn't require many hours. And then when she was not working at the school that was sponsoring her, she advertised at coffee shops and here and there, and found a whole bunch of students and just worked her ass off. And in 6 months, she saved $10,000, which was enough to go back and put a down payment on a house. And that's the last I heard of her. She could be a crack whore for all I know now. But anyway, so there's that. Okay, let's try to get some of these other questions here. Maybe I should go back. Maybe I should answer them in order. Oh, here's someone. Oh, this is from... I'm just reading this now from... What's his name? His name is DJ Ryzen. I forgot his name. His name is Lex, apparently. He says, thanks for blocking me on Facebook. Oh yeah. Okay, this is, I don't know why I'm going to talk about this, but I'm not going to read this because I know the actual story. So there's this guy, I forgot his name. I think it's DJ Rising, or what's it? Gaijin Rising or something? Rising Gaijin? That's it, Rising Gaijin. Okay. So Rising Gaijin is another YouTuber. And I'm going to talk shit now because, no, it's not shit. It's just, it's pretty honest. And I don't really have anything against this guy. But Rising Gaijin is a guy who once popped up on one of my videos in which I was teaching Japanese. And it was a video that was referencing a viral video, which is something that I'm requested to do sometimes. Some of you guys send me viral videos and say, please explain this. So I do that. They're request videos. And those are all on the old Gimmeaflakeman channel. Oh, it's just so strange to say old. So on one of those videos, Rising Gaijin popped up. And he's been around. He knows who I am. He knows what I do. But he wrote, why don't you just show the video? We could learn better if you just show the video. I'm like, no, that's actually not true. Because even I had to study the video to figure out what was being said and what language was being used, and make, type out the subtitles so you could understand how to, what he was saying, and then it could become a language lesson. So, but he reacted in a negative fashion to my title. He thought I was being deceiving, but it was said, well, whatever. Anyway, so I humored him just out of respect to the fact that he's a J vlogger. And I changed the title a little bit, so it's very clear that it's just a lesson, even though that's all I do on Gimmeaflakeman pretty much. So then he messaged me on Facebook. We became friends on Facebook friends, right? Oh God, there's so many people on Facebook. I have no idea who they are. Who are my friends? I often want to close that account. And he started, whatever. We were friends, right? So occasionally I would see his posts. I never really noticed much about his post. Nothing particular. Just normal guy posting stuff, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. No, actually, I have no memory of anything that he ever posted until one day when he posted an exchange that he had with one of his, I think, high school friends or college friends, some female, a friend of his, and in the exchange, he basically reposted the conversation, and he said, why don't you go suck a big black nigger dick? Something like that. I'm pretty sure he said the N-word, right? And I'm sorry to repeat that, because I know some of you are very offended at the fact that I even repeated that. But, that's what happened. So when I saw that, I thought, you're actually reposting a conversation in which you use the N-word, and you're bragging about it, how you, destroyed this girl. So my gut reaction was, you're an idiot. I don't want to see this on my page. I have no interest in reading about how you pwned some girl and told her to go suck a big black cock. So I blocked him and removed him from my Facebook. And I didn't say anything to him because he's nothing and no one to me. I've never met him before. Tikio Sam has told me over and over, you guys are so alike. You guys get along great. And I personally took that as an insult, because I would although I'm quite crass myself at times, there is a line that I will not cross, and one of those is bragging about how I use the N-word and encouraging another girl to go suck one. Penis. So I was, so whatever. Anyway, so then Tikio Sam, who I love Tikio Sam. He's a bit of an idiot too sometimes, but he's also incredibly intelligent in other ways. No, he's a smart guy, but he sometimes I don't get him. Like he's a smart guy, but he doesn't have a filter, and I think that gets him in trouble sometimes. This other guy, Rising Gaijin, I think, no offense. Here's the thing, man. It's not, look, this is such a terrible thing to say, but I think you're kind of stupid to say things that you do. However, you're also self-righteous, which is a bad combination. Tikio Sam is intelligent. Oh, yeah. So you're not. Sorry. But you're asking for this. And I'll tell you, and you guys will see why in a minute. And it's okay to be stupid. I'm a moron. However, I think it's more important. If you're stupid, especially, you should be nice and stupid. Don't be a dick and stupid. Don't be self-righteous and stupid. Because then you're just a bore. So anyway, for some reason, I guess, apparently, Rising Gaijin asked Tikio Sam why I blocked him, and Tikio Sam said something like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe he's jealous of all the action you're getting." So Rising Gaijin writes me, he does a podcast, and he sends it to me, and in the podcast, I can't even believe I listened to it, but in the podcast, he's like, "Victor apparently blocked me because, I guess because he's married now, he doesn't ever have sex anymore. And he was like jealous of me having all this sex with all these girls." And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. So I wrote him back and I said, and actually he has a very good voice. So actually, if someone were to write his scripts, you would never know he was actually kind of an idiot. And you know what? I mean that. I really do think you're an idiot. I wish I didn't, but that's the truth. That's, you guys value the truth, and this guy's asking for it. So making a podcast claiming that I'm jealous of your sex life, when I'm not aware of the existence of your penis. I don't even know that it exists. As far as I know, that doesn't even exist. I've never heard any stories about your penis being anywhere. I don't care about your penis being anywhere. And I'm certainly not jealous of your penis, because your penis is attached to you, and I'm certainly not envious of you. And even if you were getting all the best, God, okay, I'll lower myself to your level for a second. If you were getting the best snatch in the world by hot models and whatever the hell, porn actresses, I still would not be jealous of your penis. But here's the point. I did not block you because I was jealous of your sexual antics. I have no interest at all in where you dip your wick. I just think you're an idiot to brag about using the N-word, and that's why I blocked you. So I wrote him. I wrote that in summary. I said, "Hey, no offense, but I have no knowledge of your. I don't know and care where you dip your wick." That's what I said. He's like, "Oh, you're cool. You're so honest, man. I'm going to buy you a beer." I'm like, "No, you don't have to buy me a beer. I mean, if you buy me a beer, I'll take it. But nah, I don't really want to drink with you." Yeah. So I think this video has gone on long enough. But the only reason I'm being kind of mean in this video, but is because he made 2 podcasts about this. I didn't hear the first one, but in the second one he alluded to the first one. Like, "Oh, a lot of people said I was knocking Gimmeaflakeman in my first podcast." So I've probably given you more attention now and than you would ever have gotten through that podcast alone. But thank you for sending it to me. And I think we'll stop there. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mails on just Facebook that I haven't answered, and a bunch on Gimmeaflake on the Gmail. But I do want to address one quick. Sorry, just licking the whiskey here. I do want to address one quick, and this is probably way too late in the video for people to actually get anything out of this, so I'll have to do this again. But I get emails all the time from teenagers saying they want to come to Japan and live in Japan and become a Japanese citizen, and I think those are ridiculous thoughts for someone who's never been to Japan. I've lived in Japan for 23 years. I have no interest at all in becoming a Japanese citizen at all. I'm not. I don't know how anyone could reject their country. How could you think your country sucks so much that you would want to become the citizen of a country you've never lived in? For me, that sounds insane, naive, childish, whatever you want to call it. So why don't you just for those of you who are infatuated with Japan, take things one step at a time. Why don't you get your ass over here first and see if you like it, before you start fantasizing or indulging those dreams of becoming a Japanese citizen. I don't think even Japanese people are particularly. It's not like in America when people are after the American citizenship. It isn't like people strive to become Japanese citizens, except I suppose maybe if you come from I'm sorry if this is insulting to anyone, but unless you come from a third world that has very few economic means or opportunities, I don't think many people want to become a Japanese citizen. Okay, that's it for now. I've gone on for over 30 minutes, which is on the long end of these videos. But thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate the questions. I do apologize, as always, for not having the time to answer them. I do enjoy answering them, but I've got priorities, and those are usually making my lessons, which I really do enjoy teaching in the classroom. So I have to pay attention to that. But I wish I could do this full time, but at the present I cannot. Maybe someday. Anyway, if you got this far, let's say, please make some reference to my friend Wolverine, or the fact that I fill him with 100 yen coins and my wife doesn't know it. My wife has a piggy bank downstairs, and I give her all my 500 yen coins, which reminds me, I have to go give her today's 500 yen coins. We've filled it up like 4 times. Her piggy bank's been filled 4 times already. Boy, that sounds dirty for some reason, huh? Make any reference to a piggy bank. And every time we fill it up, it's like 50,000 yen. So that's cool. That's like $2,000 already. This guy, however, is not filled. He's a bit bigger than the piggy bank downstairs. But anyway, reference to piggy banks, Wolverine. Yeah, piggy banks, Wolverine. Right. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.